was that I didn't completely understand why I cried. I want to find that song so that, oh my God, it's the girl who sang the Titanic song.
Celine Dion?
Yeah. Okay, wait, hold up. Not My Heart Will Go On. It's the other one. All by Myself. Yes. This song. Oh my gosh. Yes. That song made me cry. And I kid you not, it honestly made me cry. I was like, dude. I was laying in bed and I was like watching like one of those like what's it called? I think it's The Voice. I was watching The Voice. And then it was like this kid, he's like hecka young. And he comes on and he's like belting this song and it's clean. And I was like, yo, this is insane. And then something triggered me. And then I started just crying in my bed. Dude, I started crying, man. And I was like, what is going on here? Why am I crying? And then I kid you not. I got my speakers. I got on YouTube, right? And then I searched up the song on like her channel, on her like YouTube or her Vivo channel, right? And then I just blasted the music in the morning. And I swear to my mom, my brother could hear it. But I was like literally screaming and crying and listening to the song. Oh my God. It was so weird. I really don't know what was going through my head at that moment. But it definitely was one of those things where you're just like, yo, bro, like, yeah, like why did it make me cry? Am I crying because it just sounds so beautiful? Am I crying because there was something inside where I was like, I had to let it out? Because that was a good thing that you pointed out. A good cry. Some people don't cry. And when they do, it's always like mixed up with the wrong emotions. Like anger. Crying mixed up with like sometimes happiness, but it's always in the wrong context and it kind of makes no sense. And typically when you think of crying, you kind of want to cry because you're sad about something, or in which case you're very emotional about something. Do you think that crying, that action, is not typically just linked with one? I mean, you already kind of said it. Like, do you think that it's such a universal action that it can be interpreted in many ways as long as you have the context for why the person's crying?
Yeah, I mean, of course. Like, you could, like, if someone's like, oh my God, I'm so happy, and then they start crying, like, you're obviously gonna, like, feel happy. And then if they're like, oh my God, I'm so sad, and then they start crying, you're gonna feel sad too. I guess it just depends on, like, the context. But I think that crying is, yeah, it has a lot of different meanings. Because I've, like, cried when I was happy. I've cried when I was sad. I've anger cried before. When you get scared, you cry too. I think it fits, like, all emotions. Because even if you, like, fall in love, yeah, you're set to cry, my dude.
You're set to cry?
You're set to cry.
Yeah. Man. So it's so weird. It's such a weird action. Human response. I see that with other human responses too. You know how there's like that genuine smile when someone's like really happy and they're smiling. You know that look, Andy?
Yeah, I love that look. Like when they get the sparkle in their eye and they're talking about something they're really passionate about. That's like the best.
And then there's that smile where it's like, bruh, what? Like, you just said like the darkest thing. I don't know if you like it or you're just joking around. You know, like smiling is so eerie. There's also hugs, you know? You can use hugs as a means to express longing. You can also use it as a tool to embrace comfort. But at the same time, typically it's kind of used to show affection. But it's such a welcoming and warming kind of human response compared to smiling, which sometimes can have that eeriness to it. How would you describe crying? Do you think that crying is just in a league of its own? It can't really be said to be, kind of scary when you see a little child cry. I mean, like, if I see a child cry, I'm going to be like, yo, bro, what's going on? You know?
Yeah, I do kind of think it's in a league by itself. I don't think there's like any like misinterpretation that's like evil intent behind it. So I think that it's just good enough to be by itself. Because I don't think it really fits into any specific category, if you know what I mean.
I do, 100%. Like, it's so weird. Like, I honestly really liked the word of the day, emigrate. You know, if we're gonna stretch it, okay, we're gonna stretch this. Leaving one's country, it's like leaving one's homeland. Everyone's got home base, right? Where you feel at home, where you feel safe. Because what is home to you? For most people, hopefully, in a positive light, is a place where you're safe, you can be yourself, you're surrounded by a support group, you are, you're together. You're all there when you're at home. Now, when we leave home, when we leave that safe place of ours, we are probably more prone to cry. Now, do you think that vulnerability, when we leave our comfort zone, is that a human situation that has to be faced? Do you think that people don't like leaving home? And if so, is that so much necessarily a bad thing, Andy?
Well, I think it is really human to like not want to leave where you feel safe and not want to come out of like per se your bubble where you feel like you're the most warm and comforting. But I really do feel like sometimes you do have to step out of like that bubble and like kind of pop it a little bit or like stretch it out. That way you can really like start expanding and finding other places where you can find similar things. Because if you just stay in like one spot, you'll never know anything else. You'll never get to experience different things and know like, I don't know, like have positive experiences somewhere else. Like, not everything has to be bad. Some things will be, obviously, but not everything in the world is bad. And I think that it's nice to like try and push yourself to be, I don't know, more daring, I guess, and like try and step over it, just like little tiny baby steps and like see what's out there. And I think that sometimes we do get a little bit of fear when you're trying to step out of your boundaries, because everyone gets scared of being unsafe and not cared for, but there are going to be other people that will make you feel welcome. There are going to be other places where you can like set up a little bubble too. And I think it's nice. I don't know. What do you think? I'm rambling.
No, if anything, such a wonderful response. Because honestly, crying is, if anything, in of itself, a warning. It's kind of like when you get the goosebumps or when you get your hair standing on the back of your neck, or you get the gut feeling where it's like, yeah, I shouldn't walk down that alleyway right now. I don't think, those 4 hooded figures do not look very welcoming. But crying, to me, feels more like a warning. It's kind of like it's there because it knows that you've left or crossed the line between home and what's out there. whether or not it's unknown, whether or not you were not prepared for it, and you willingly knew that, like, yeah, no, that existed, but then, imagine bumping into depression. Imagine, it's like, oh no, my grandma got cancer. That's cool. Like that for me is kind of where crying kind of floats around. It is so universal. It is so neutral that you can cry for whatever kind of reason. And stepping out of your comfort zone, to me, feels like such a teary-eyed or crying-worthy action. Because it is very hard for humans to be courageous. It is very easy for us to be cowardly, to choose the easier way out. And I have to say that I am exactly the same way. I fit into the category of coward. There are some things where I don't want to deal with it head on. And there are some situations where I don't deal with them in the most healthy way. But you do bring up a good point. And you will not be able to find happiness, and you will not be able to find out things about yourself if you don't cry, if you don't try to go past that fear and grow. I think that crying in and of itself is kind of like watering the plant. We have to shed tears here and there for our roots to continue to be hardened, to grow deeper into the earth. Wow, that sounds really jank. What's the earth? I don't know. Like emotions, the mind. We gotta find a way to use that as a positive than a negative. And I find that it is very hard, even for me, to kind of just be like, man, I'm very scared of what's gonna happen. I'm scared of what's gonna happen in the later years of my adulthood. I don't know what's gonna happen with my future. I don't know where my love for music's going to take me, my love for sound and audio. I don't even know where I'm going to be going relationship-wise with my friends, with my family. Maybe something changes. But the thing is that something that is worthwhile to cry about? There's a lot of things that when you think a little too far ahead, or you start to plan too far ahead, you start to also begin to feel like you want to cry. Because it's just like, damn, there's so many things that are out of my control. Like fuck. Like you can't bleep that out now, Seth. But you can't really do anything about everything. And then coming to realize how weak human society truly is, it makes you feel even more tiny in the universe. Because there's absolutely nothing that you can do when it comes to your fate. Now, do you think that living a life and not accomplishing anything at all, is that something that you can be happy with, Andy? Can you be happy about living a life where you don't accomplish anything at all?
I don't think so. Because I think it's always good to make like small goals for yourself. Because then like you can reach something that's obtainable and you're not making like absurd dreams like, oh, I want to go and live in Alaska. Like, okay, but how are you going to do that? It's better to just like achieve small things. And I like doing that for myself. I like being like, okay, well, let's wake up tomorrow. Let's eat breakfast tomorrow. Let's take a shower tomorrow morning at 10. And I like doing that. And I don't think I'd be very happy if I couldn't achieve anything. Because I like feeling important. And I guess who doesn't? That's a very human thing. But I like achieving things for myself and making, I don't know, the lives around me just that much better, make my life a little easier to take on. Just like baby steps for me, doing all these like little achievements, making little goals, thinking that it's helping, I guess. Oh, and can I add something onto what you said too?
For sure.
Okay, so I'm gonna bring in some psychology to what you said. So, one of the number one things that's like the most negative that we do is future planning, which is like you assume something's going to happen in the future before it even happens. It's super detrimental to like your mental health to think like that, actually, because you never actually know what's going to happen in the future. You're just trying to predict it. And it's not good because it's better to live in the moment and accept the moment for what it is, because there's never really like a present. It's always the past and the future, because as soon as a moment happens, it's already in the past. And I guess there's no future either, because like things are happening as they go on, but predicting what may or may not happen is just going to make yourself get anxiety, and it's just going to make you sad because you're like, oh my God, what if this is going to happen? What if I don't get that job? What if I don't please this person? They're going to think this, they're going to think that. This is going to happen. Oh, it's going to be bad. You don't know that. Stop it. You can't predict the future. You just got to let things play out the way they're going to play out and trust yourself. Thank you.
No, that's wonderful. It's wonderful. And I love how you brought...
Psychology major.
Yeah, no, that's perfect. Because you know what? That leads into my question, which is really great here. Is it worth to cry about the future, or is it worth to cry about the past?
I think it's better to cry about the past, because even though your future is uncertain, you can always make it as you go. So like every step you take is going to further you into the future that you're going to create. You can make it as you go. You can't like say, "Oh, I'm going to make this mistake." Like, no, you don't know that. You can literally change it right now. You can go out there and change it right now. It's going to be different because there is no future. You're just making your life as you go. To cry over your past is normal because those things have already happened. They've already been set in stone. You can't change it. But then there's the thing that, why are you crying over something that you can never change? And I ask myself this all the time because I am one of those people that are stuck in the past over stupid stuff. And I'm just like, Andy, sweetie, why are you crying over this again? You can't change it. Nothing you do is going to change it. Why don't you just make today the best day you can and then see where it goes from here? Because if that was so bad, you can make it better. And that's just a, I think, because like, even if you make a mistake, my favorite thing that I like hearing is that those mistakes make up the constellation of your life, and it's only going to lead you to where you want to be. And I like that.
I like that too. That's dang. Like, it's really great to talk with someone who is also, you know, a deep thinker who's gone through it. Like, I mean, let's be real here, right? For all the people who listen in on the podcast or watch the VOD. We're not experts on life. The experts on life are dead. They're the people that lived a life before us. They're the people that lived longer lives, who experienced things in means that were definitely much more harder compared to now, considering everything that we've advanced from. Like, if we look at just strictly technology, the use of the internet like we are using right now is one of the quickest ways for us to connect with other human beings around the world. And it wouldn't really be possible it wouldn't be possible without thinking back that we wanted to find a way to even make that possible. You know, it's kind of jank. I used possible like 3 times, yes, but we only so are living the lives now, or living in a society now that people in the past conceptualized for years or decades. And it is, if anything, an honor to now live in such a life now, in their future, where everything that they dreamed and hoped of exists. But it does kind of suck when some things don't change. And the reason why I wanted to bring up the past is because there is definitely lots of things that don't change. A lot of things that we hope that we can hurdle over. We're bigger, taller hurdles than we may have thought as human society. Racism still exists. Sexism still exists. Just the whole, as long as there's a person who is willing to go against a system, to disagree, there will always be 2 sides to a story, and there will always be conflict. And that's something in the past that I think I would want to cry about. Because even up until now, it is hard to fathom the idea that we're still fighting for some things that we'd hope we'd fix by the 21st century. But, Andy, do you think that we should cry for ourselves or for the people that we may have failed?
That's actually kind of difficult, because I don't think that we've exactly failed anyone. It's more of like perspective of if you think you failed someone, but in my eyes, you're not responsible for other people's feelings. So I don't think you should cry if you think you like wronged someone, or if they think you've wronged you, or whatever. I think it's good to cry for yourself, and it's okay to cry for others too, but I don't think, like, if you think that you've wronged someone, I think, I don't know how to like explain it. Like, if it's someone you've never talked to, I don't get that, but like if it's someone you have talked to and like you think that they think something that's like just predicting their thoughts, that's not healthy either. But if they've said that you've made them upset, to talk it out, I guess. I'm stuttering. Oh my god.
That's all
My
good.
thoughts are all over the place.
Don't worry. It is a very, what's it called? I would say that the question I constructed was definitely it's just very, it's very tough. Because yeah, you don't know who these people are. But then again, you don't know if all that they've ever wanted was the best for anybody that came after them. And I guess in of itself, it's very heartwarming, but also it's just something that I guess that just goes away with time. We don't really think about those people. We don't really think about those that we've lost. And then when you really think about it, we're going to end up being those people. We're going to end up being the past. And in the future, whatever it is that we thought of that never existed yet, probably would have been done. And everything that we feel and that we talk about may or may not be important. And is crying really, truly important? Do you think it's important?
Of course it's important. Everybody cries. And I think it's healthy. It's a good way to express yourself and a good time to like really release all of your emotions, and it's scientifically proven that it's healthy, psychologically proven that it's healthy. I think it's a good thing. I think more people need to cry some things out instead of bottling them up and like exploding on people and being angry. Like, nah, dude, just cry. It's okay.
Just
Everything
cry.
will be all right. Just cry.
Man, it was honestly awesome talking on topic. What's poppin'? What makes you cry? This segment's over. Andy, thanks for answering and also giving your input to some of the questions that I had and raised. It definitely is such an amazing human response in of itself, crying. There could be more things that somebody with either more experience or more educated than someone who's casually serious could ever say. Moving on to the fourth segment, Andy. The question of the day is, what makes you hopeful? What is it that makes you hopeful?
I think what makes me hopeful is like all of the little things. Because before I was really pessimistic about everything and I hated everything. I wanted everything to go away. And now that like I'm getting older, I'm just kind of like, why was I so angry? And like when I drive to work now, I like see the sunrise, and then when I come home some nights I see the sunset and I'm like, wow, I'm really glad I lived today. Maybe I'll live to see tomorrow too. That was really pretty. And it just gives me hope that something good is gonna come out of like my next day. And then like the moon is so pretty, bro. Like I want to live to see that moon the next day. So that gives me hope too. And then my cat, he gives me hope. He makes me pretty happy. And yeah, he makes me believe that there's good in this world sometimes. And I'm very thankful for him. And he gives me hope that everything's gonna turn out okay. What about you?
Definitely. What makes me hopeful is knowing that people like you are out there who are trying to live as decent of a life as they possibly can. Because definitely, for most, not all, we always have that glimpse of that shadow, of that dark inner home that reflects everything negative that we possibly could have ever conceptualized about the world, about ourselves. And also, I have to check that. Thanks for the follow. Thanks very much. And it's definitely very... It sucks. When you get in that place, it really sucks. But it's so inspiring. Despite knowing that that exists, despite knowing that there is all this bad in the world, you are still able to be happy about all the small victories that you're able to achieve. And I really love the last high school English teacher that I had. Her name's Miss Wheatland. I loved how it was. If anything, it was a little savage. Okay, it was a little savage sometimes to the kids. But I understood what it is that she was trying to do, because waking up in of itself is a victory. And just getting out of bed, getting your shoes on, getting clothed, even if you're in your PJs, if you went to school, you are furthering your development. You are furthering your life. And I'm not saying that you gotta go to school to get further in life, but just a mere fact that you're willing to do something, that small little teensy-weensy bit of motivation, I think, is something that all of us always strive for. And I think ultimately, it makes me so hopeful that we haven't lost whatever tiny bit of motivation that may be. Whether or not it's for personal gain, in your case, it's for, self-rejuvenation or helping others and being selfless. Whatever motivation pushes you to do something and to take action, it is definitely inspiring and also hopeful. Makes me hopeful. It's great. It's great to know people out there are willing to do something instead of nothing at all. So, connect with me. This stream will be uploaded as a VOD on YouTube, and you can connect with the hashtag CasuallySerious, or leave a comment on the YouTube stream archive once this is uploaded. This is technically nearing the end of our stream time, Andy. Is there any closing statements, or we had the discussion before. I said that we wouldn't necessarily talk about said subject, but if you want to make people quote unquote aware about it, I don't mind you mentioning it.
I think there is just one thing I want to say.
Of course.
Okay, so shout out to all the people who are going through a rough time right now. Just know that it'll always get better, and after the rain there will be flowers. After the winter is over, there will be spring. This bad time will not be forever. Just know that I am here walking with you down whatever path you are going through. Whether it has thorns, whether it has branches, I do not care. I will be here, and I will be walking, whether I know you or not, whether you are some stranger halfway across the world, I do not care. I'm walking with you, and today we fight, and you deserve to live. That's it.
Damn. My friends are pretty sick. Love this guy here. I love this guy right now. Guys, I always kind of try to throw some tech in here so that if you are curious of what it is that we are using, or what I'm using particularly, at least it's out there. I typically want to be rotating microphones, so it's something that I've been trying to kind of make aware, so people who want to give suggestions on what probably suits my voice better, I'll know. The previous stream, we used the Electro Voice RE20. This stream, we're using the Shure SM5B. And then the second stream that I did for episode 2, I used the Shure SM7B. So if you think that something suits my voice a lot more better, let me know. Also, let me know too if like the levels for music and stuff are pretty adequate. I did my best to do as good as I could for ducking, but pretty much everything's live, right? Especially for a podcast. So thanks again, Andy, for joining me on this episode 6. You are my second guest. Honestly, it was a pleasure having you on here. Thank you so much, man.
I loved being here. You know I love talking to you. It was an honor for me, actually.
Amazing. Now, take care all. Oh my gosh, there's like messages in the chat that I just saw. I got you, mate. Love the blue shirt. I get where you're coming from. Oh yes, these are all. Amazing, everyone here is growing. Yes, indeed, my bad. Yes. Love the podcast, man. Yes, very. Lamel, sorries. I know who these people are. It's very nice to see these two in the chat. And also, the thing... I don't want to use your real names. Oh, this one applied to get on the podcast. Honestly, you can just... I'll stop the recording now. Dang. Okay, so the recording is stopped, but the stream is still going. Okay?
Okay.
Okie dokie. How does one apply? So, if you want to be on the podcast, honestly, I've just been asking people. So, if you wanna, you can come on, Blueberry. You definitely could come on. I'm doing these every single Friday. I forgot how many hours ahead you are of me. No, I'm 5. I'm 5 hours ahead of you. 5. So yes. Whatever time works for you. I always do these at 8 p.m. my time on Fridays. Oh my gosh, Andy. Are you happy? You did first podcast with me. How did it feel?
It was terrifying.
It was terrifying. You sounded so like, what's it called? You sound very confident when you were talking. You sounded very, very confident.
I tried.
You tried. And then also, oh my gosh, I just saw, yeah, blessed. I'm so sorry, bro. All the bees in the chat, honestly, my eyes are so dumb. My eyes are so dumb. Yeah, just send me a DM, blessed, if you want to be on, and you can definitely be talking with me. We just literally just use Discord, and then I just amplify the heck out of out of the audio. Oh my gosh. Yeah, you did really good. Honestly, you did such a great job. We talked for 47 minutes.
That is a long time.
Long time. That really is. I'm not joking. That is a long time. So you did really good. You did really, really good. This one was, honestly, this podcast was like very what's that word? Man. It was very like abstract. It was kind of weird how I'm trying to like tie these all together. And like if you look at the previous episodes, they're all like very general questions. I think this one was it was the first very narrow question, specifically just a human response like crying.
I liked it.
You liked it? I hope that you did. Yeah, that was definitely, I mean, I didn't tailor it to you specifically, but honestly, I know that like we both had our fair share of crying, and I think that this was very hopefully something that we both could have like a pretty good talk about, and it seems so that it worked really well. Oh my gosh. All right. I'm going to.
For it?
How's the feedback? I mean, so far, from our two viewers on the stream, Blueberry and Blessed really liked it. On music, I have not, Blessed. Yo, Kate, listen. We can definitely do a podcast on music. That would be kind of sick. Honestly. Epic. Oh my goodness. Should do. Yes, we should do it. We should honestly do it. Dude, get me on for that. Yes, I will get you on for that one. You know what? Okay. If you got no work or no school next week, dude, we gotta do it. We gotta do that podcast on music next week. That's what we'll do. That's what we'll do. Oh my goodness. Wait, hold up. Andy, it's like 11 o'clock for you, right?
I don't know what you're talking about.
Wait, isn't it like 11 o'clock?
Yeah.
No. Okay. I'm going to be ending the stream. Thanks, you two, for joining in, because it was actually really wonderful seeing your usernames pop up on the chat. It was very, very great. Yes. Blueberry, we'll talk later tonight. If you are still awake, and then I'll be sending you a message, Blessed, if what's it called, for details and stuff on the podcast, because definitely we gotta plan for this. It'll be pretty epic. We'll do the music for next week's podcast. It'll be pretty epic. I'm gonna be talking now with Andy off stream. So take care, be safe, everybody. Thanks again for you two joining in and watching. I'm going to be ending this stream. Oh yes, the awkward moment when Seth talks to himself while clicking the scene and then slowly clicking to stop streaming, you know?